You're watching KEYC News Now.
Coming up, Governor Walz and Representative Angie Craig hold a roundtable discussing state and federal efforts to curb the opioid epidemic.
Upgrades to All Seasons Arena in Mankato take another step forward.
It may be hard to tell what season it is this year, but experts say your gardening might want to wait. First tonight, we started off the week with temperatures in the 60s, so why are we starting with Sean?
Because winter weather is knocking on the door, even on this warm day today. Hey, Sean.
Oh, I thought that it was because I'm so lovely and charming that how could you resist?
That too.
Oh, well.
These are not mutually
maybe next
exclusive.
time, but yeah. Right? We got a great day today. We got to 66 for a high at 62 now. We had 70s all across northern Iowa. Blue Earth even got to 70 today, and this is it for a couple of days. We're coming back to it. Don't worry. If you like this, there is more on the way. But check out these temps from 59 in Marshall to 62 in Mankato. Blue Earth still at 67 degrees. And as of now, our high today is 66. It's possible that in between the hourly readings, we got to 67. That information will come in this evening. But our old record, 62 back in 2000, we did a number on that. And we have a nice clear sky still, but if you look to the northwest, there's something looming. We have a front sitting out there, and that's going to blast through tomorrow, bringing a little bit of light snow. We're talking less than an inch of accumulation tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. But there will be wind, which means there will be some blowing snow. And, of course, temperatures are going to drop in a very, very big way. Our high tomorrow is going to happen in the morning. The front's going to pass through, and then temperatures are going to drop. So we'll get to the 30s sometime mid-morning-ish, but by tomorrow afternoon, we're going to drop down into the low 20s. So you may be tempted tomorrow morning to leave the house without a jacket, but take it because you are going to need it in a big way by late tomorrow afternoon. The wind and cold are going to kick in, and we'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. And then a rebound, Stacy and Dion, we may get to 70 in Mankato by next weekend. And I'll take you through that, the 10-day forecast, and the latest on everything is coming up a little later in weather.
This is wild. Thank you, Sean. Well, the weather is prompting a change to a planned vigil for fallen paramedic Adam Finseth in Rochester.
Tomorrow is the public memorial honoring Finseth. The event was originally set to be held at Soldiers Field, but after consulting with the National Weather Service, the Rochester Fire Department says it will now be held at Rochester Assembly Church. There will be a tribute from the RFD, honor guard, a bell ceremony, and several speakers. Finseth was a graduate of John Marshall High School in Rochester. It's too early to start planting gardens, but experts say there is plenty to do outside in the meantime. Aaron Stuvey has more.
Warm weather in the 60s might have some gardeners thinking it's spring, but experts say that it's important to wait a bit longer. The warm weather will break and the ground will freeze again, a process that experts say shouldn't damage plants that are already outside, provided they haven't begun to flower. While planting should wait a little longer, Drummers Garden Center in Mankato says that there's plenty to do in the meantime.
So outside you can start removing all your perennial, cut off any grasses that might be there, removing any old weeds, leaves from last year. And then also you can start mulching, getting that done ahead of time.
A popular way to kickstart spring gardens is by seed starting, beginning growing plants inside to be put outside once spring officially arrives. Some folks use old milk jugs and others use dedicated boxes, moving the plants outside after last frost in May. Drummers says that it's as good a year as any to pick up the hobby, but beginners should temper their expectations for starting out.
We have a tendency to overplan and overpopulate space, so I would start small, start with items that you eat on a regular basis so that you can control your crops a little bit easier.
Aaron Stuvey, KEYC News Now.
Drummers says they're now almost completely rebuilt from a fire that occurred last August.
Governor Tim Walz and Congresswoman Angie Craig held a roundtable discussion in St. Paul this morning discussing Minnesota's work on the state and federal level to address the opioid crisis. Last year, Governor Walz signed over $200 million in spending into law to address substance use and the opioid crisis. According to the governor's office, the Walz-Flanagan administration will spend over $25 million this year to address the ongoing crisis. During the roundtable, the issue of immigration and asylum reform was discussed. The governor referenced federal legislation which would reduce the lag in asylum hearings. Governor Walz also addressed criticisms about drugs coming through the southern border, saying asylum seekers should not be punished or blamed for drug smuggling.
Right now, if someone steps across, because it's who we are, seeking asylum. Once they step foot on the ground, they claim asylum. It's 5 to 7 years before they get the hearing on that. This bill moved it to 90 days to try and move that. So yes, I am incredibly critical about this because there's things we can do right. And it's not a false choice of being controlling the border and the humanity and the workforce needs that we have.
The Minnesota Department of Health is currently accepting proposals for several million in grants for opioid overdose prevention. No injuries reported after a semi versus school bus crash in Owatonna. It happened around 7:30 this morning near the intersection of West North Street and Hoffman Drive Northwest. Police say there were no injuries to either of the drivers or any kids on board the bus. The Owatonna Police Department and the Minnesota State Patrol are investigating.
Multiple departments responded to a fire that broke out this morning at Watson Recycling in Orinoco. Pine Island and Orinoco fire departments responded. There were no injuries reported. The owner and Pine Island's fire chief suspect that the cause was a lithium-ion battery. A garage in Hawley after it caught fire and burned all night. Personnel from 17 fire departments were on scene to help haul in water from other locations. Firefighters were also spraying water on trees in nearby homes to keep them from starting on fire. The city of Hawley asked residents to refrain from using water because the fire response put a strain on the water tower. Hawley Public Schools closed today because of that fire response.
Mankato's Intergovernmental Center is finalizing the planned reconstruction of the All Seasons Arena. While they determined 2 years ago that the rink needed to be replaced, it's been a long process to get the financing and feasibility approved. Now they're approaching the final stage, presenting their feasibility reports to the city of Mankato, the city of North Mankato, and Blue Earth County.
One thing that we heard loud and clear as we did the outreach to the end users was they wanted to make sure that there was ice during the construction. We're going to make sure that we have a long-term plan in place to provide ice for recreating. We're going to have the lobby configuration to allow for more space. But there's going to be a mezzanine area with additional bleachers in the north rink.
The city of North Mankato and Blue Earth County have already approved the finance reports unanimously. If Mankato City Council approves the reports tonight, the reconstruction is expected to begin in the spring of this year. Tonight, Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley is bringing her campaign message to Minnesota. Her visit is part of her cross-country blitz of Super Tuesday states. According to Haley's campaign, the rally is happening soon at the DoubleTree by Hilton Hotel in Bloomington at 6:30 tonight. Haley isn't giving up without a fight, saying Donald Trump, in his win in the South Carolina primary, didn't get 40% of the vote on Saturday. The Mankato West robotic team is gearing up for another season.
The story after the break.
Hi, I'm Lee with JetterClean. Your download backing up? Jetter.
The Mankato West robotics team is heading to the state championship for the 7th year in a row, but it's about more than just competition.
The program's just one example of how robotics is getting high school students involved in STEM. Sophia Jernander reports.
Mankato West High School's robotics program has long been a staple of the community. This weekend, they're going to the state championship for the 7th year in a row and have won dozens of other awards over the years. Head coach Mark Zank has a lot of faith in his students.
One of the things that we've established here is just a culture that, they have to work on their independent team, but also work together within the program. And, just the successes that they've had, the working with others, whether they're in our program or outside of our program as well.
But it's not all about competition. Robotics teams are instrumental in getting students interested in STEM. Students Aiden and Brendan say Mankato West's program has done a lot for them.
I like some sciences more than others. Like I was never a big fan of biology, but I always like the chemistry and physics side. And we don't really do like math in robotics per se, but it helps with problem solving. So like how to attack a problem head on, how to break it down and come up with ideas and solutions.
It's not that complicated. If you built with Legos, you can probably build a robot.
Both plan to go to college for mechanical engineering, but they say that's not the only interest here at Mankato West. The robotics program welcomes students with a variety of skills. And while the teams here continue to be fantastic, Zank will always be dedicated to encouraging schools all across the area to start their own programs.
If kids can get every school in Minnesota or even in the Midwest or even the whole United States had robotics, would be amazing.
In Mankato, Sophia Jernander, KEYC News Now.
Robotics students will also be at the Mankato Brewery March the 9th to show off what they've accomplished this year. Sean?
Well, we did it, Stacy and Dion. 67 our high temperature today. In fact, across our region, highs were about 30 to 40 degrees above average for this time of year. And there's more of this on the way, but we have a little bump in the road to get through first. I'll tell you all about that when we come back.
The city of Mankato.
Sean, it's getting downright hot out there.
I know, right? It is getting downright hot. 67 today in Mankato. We had a string of 70s along and south of I-90. Fairmont 69, Blue Earth up to 70. And then look at northwestern Iowa, 74. I mean, that's 6 degrees away from 80 down in Spencer, Okoboji, 72 in Algona, and in Forest City, 73 our high today in Mason City. Right now, still hanging on. A nice evening at 62 degrees. The wind out of the west at 7. You should, I mean, this isn't good for business, but you shouldn't be watching the news. You should be out taking a walk or something right now. Right afterward, get out there and enjoy it. After sports, go outside. It's going to be really nice through the evening, or you can watch on your phone too. But we have temperatures from 57 in St. James to 60 in Fairmont, 64 still in Algona. Redwood Falls at 60. It's 56 in Glencoe, Minneapolis, St. Paul at 60 degrees. And we have a lot going on here. We have temperatures that are going to fall behind a front that's coming through tonight. The wind is going to kick in tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. Light snow and blowing snow possible late tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening. And there could be some wind chill issues tomorrow night, too, with 10 to 20 below wind chill Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So the culprit is this front right back here, of course, today. Where we are now, all this warm air continues to surge north, and our temperatures have skyrocketed throughout the afternoon. But as we take you into tomorrow morning, look where this front goes. By 6 a.m., right through here with that front basically going from about Minneapolis, St. Paul down to Sioux City. Ahead of the front, warmer air. Behind the front, the cold is going to move in very, very quickly. So the further east you are, the warmer you'll get tomorrow morning. The further west you are, the faster that cold is going to move in. In Mankato, I think we'll hit our high in the 30s sometime mid-morning tomorrow. And then once that front kicks through, temperatures are going to drop in a hurry. If you're further east, especially east of I-35, there's a good chance you could get to 45 or 50 or better tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow night. The front's going to kick through, bringing in some colder temperatures. It's going to get windy tomorrow. Then by Wednesday, high pressure is going to move in. Highs are going to drop into the mid-20s on Wednesday, but it should be a sunny, fairly calm day. Here's the hour-by-hour forecast. Going to start you at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll start with a little sunshine early on unless you're further west. Clouds are going to move in overnight, but we will see clouds increasing through the day. Light snow could develop out by Redwood Falls, Pipestone, Marshall by midday, with light snow developing further east by later in the afternoon. Here in Mankato, 4 or 5 o'clock into the evening, snow possible. It's not going to be heavy, but at about the time the snow kicks in, the wind will be gusting to 35 plus, and that's going to create some blowing snow, especially while snow is falling. Then it's going to get out of here. We'll actually clear out with sunshine first thing on Wednesday morning. Snow amounts are less than an inch. It's not going to be much, but again, the main issues I think with snow will be blowing snow while snow is falling. You can see wind gusts will be pushing that 30, 35 plus range, could be higher further west toward Windham, Marshall, and Redwood Falls. That will create blowing snow, and there could be some slick roads on Wednesday morning as well. Check out these temps starting at 6 a.m. Tuesday. By 10 a.m., still 38 Mankato, 48 Rochester, Marshall, though, at 22. And as that front moves through, look at how fast these temperatures drop through the day. down to 22 by 6 p.m., 14 in Marshall. We're going to drop to 5 for a low temperature on Tuesday night into Wednesday. 38 falling temperatures tomorrow, sunny and cold Wednesday. Look at that recovery. Thursday, 51. Friday, 60. Saturday, 62 on Sunday. All the way to 70. And then another system will bring some light rain and snow by Monday with temperatures cooler but still above average through most of next week. Stacy, Indiana, we have a little bump of the road, but boy, it's going to get nice for the weekend.
Yeah, that was a lot to cover. Thank you, Sean. Tonight at 10, we hear from lawmakers in our area about their priorities in the 2024 session.
Plus, many younger Americans aren't aware of the risk factors they can control to help prevent colorectal cancer, what a new survey found. Join us for those stories and more tonight on KEYC News Now at 10. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. It's not March just yet, but let the madness begin. Division III National Tournament brackets coming out today, and a few area basketball teams are ready to dance. In the men's national tournament, both Gustavus Adolphus and Bethany Lutheran will head to the UW Platteville for the opening round of action. Bethany will play the host, UW Platteville, to open their tournament schedule. The hosts are currently the 15th ranked team in the nation. On the other side of the bracket, Gustavus will play Loris. The Gusty Storybook season continues after a thrilling journey through the MIAC tournament where the team from St. Peter won the postseason title for the first time since the 2005 season. It's the team's first trip to the national tournament since 2012. Breaking down the seasons for both, Gustavus comes into the tourney with an 18-10 overall record and averages close to 80 points per game as a team. Leading the group in scoring is Spencer Swanson with over 19 points per game. And the St. Peter native, Wyatt Olson, is second on the team with an average of 13 points per game. As for Bethany, the team went undefeated in UMAC action this year, claiming the regular and postseason crowns. The Vikings average close to 85 points per game with 6 different scores averaging double figures. Both those tournament games are set to tip off this Friday. We'll have an update right here on KEYC News Now. Gustavus women's basketball team also punching its ticket to the NCAA tournament over the weekend. The Gusties are heading to UW Oshkosh and will play Trine in the first round of action. Gustavus is 25-2 on the season and will hit the floor on Friday. The Gusties' strong year is highlighted by a strong defensive effort that's limiting teams to just around 50 points per game. Offensively, the team features a well-balanced attack with 3 different players averaging double figures. That game between the Gusties and Trine tips off at 5 on Friday. Basketball season coming to an end, but baseball season is just beginning. Check out the Gustavus baseball team playing a home game in February against Northwestern to start their season. Gusties more than ready for the year to get underway. The team puts up 12 runs in Game 1 against Northwestern in a dominant win. Game 2 is more of the same as the group starts out the season 2-0 after scoring 34 runs across the 2 contests. Gusties are 2-0 to start the season. The team heads to Arizona next Monday. That's all for sports. We'll be right back.
All across Greater Mankato.
Finally tonight, a museum in London is seeking to hire their own Taylor Swift superfan.
The Victoria and Albert Museum wants someone to advise their curators to explain Tay-Tay's importance on the history of art and design. The successful job seeker will have the chance to view relevant items from the museum's collection and potentially help influence future programming. The superfan should be able to offer insights into culture and artisanry around the friendship bracelets that Swifties often exchange, as well as the handmade signs frequently displayed at concerts. The museum didn't disclose a salary, but administrators say they will cover reasonable travel costs and a museum membership.
We've got a lot of Swifties here, Sean, and they were even saying, like, we just can't shake off winter. There's going to be, what is it, snow on your guitar?
Snowflakes on your guitar, perhaps?
Right.
It's gold. It's gold. Everyone's happy.
I have a 14-year-old daughter that's applying for that job as we speak.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we do have a little winter coming up. We can shake it off, although we will for a couple of days. We have some light snow tomorrow, less than an inch, falling temperatures throughout the day. We have a big temperature drop on the way tomorrow. Wear a jacket in the morning. You may be tempted to go without when you leave the house. You're going to want it by later in the afternoon. We'll have more online and, of course, on our app and more tonight at 10.
Sound advice. Thank you, Sean. It's going to be wild. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night.